Hello and welcome into the Sorare Data Show. I'm Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare today, celebrating the return of the Danish Superliga, Midtjylland, kicking off soon. I can't find them on OneFootball. So somebody commented in the chat, I think it was, who was Glenn? Starting a stream at the same time as the Midtjylland kickoff. His head, meaning mine, is not going to be in this one. That's absurd. Of course I'll be in it, but also I'll be looking this way constantly. Unless it's not on OneFootball. I can't actually find it. And yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for everyone for coming in. Agent Cooper, keep calm and carry on. I'm not saying Sorare is as important as a motivational poster produced for World War II, but it's a great slogan to live by. Totally agree. And actually, I was just talking to Mike Baston about something that would have completely applied to. Ben Johnson, congrats on the podium for you. What else you have? I think what we should do is complain about the Olympic Special Weekly. Whoa. The medal Special Weekly. Not being out yet when the game week is open. So much for announcing Special Weeklies 2 weeks in advance. We'll get there, don't worry. And then Liam, 28, 1991, 2/8, 1991, February 8th, maybe, Liam. So it was Agent Cooper, Ben Johnson, and Liam on the podium. Congratulations to you three. Toby, what's up? I know he's celebrating the Superliga returning. Bob Franklin, Jake. That's right. The August calendar is out, so everyone can settle down. Stefan, what's up? Mike Baston, Friday, 5 o'clock, Laird o'clock. Appreciate that. Good morning to you, Surface to Air Missile. MLS Sorare Scout, not so excited about, I guess, most of the Turkish league not being renewed. We just get the big four. Matthew Wee says, we don't have special weeklies anymore, just specials. So yeah, that sounds fun. Agree with Mike here. Hit the like button, please. Always really nice and appreciated. Alex Wilson celebrating Thomas Delaney. Maddie said, we'll listen to this while watching the first SC Freiburg friendly of the season. Now we are talking. And let's see here. Sorry. Still had Discord open and it's PSU fans too complaining about something. Mike Basson, stars will be stars, only wanting the known teams from the Superliga. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Malky, what's up? Keith Jameson, hit every button. I like that. Thank you, Gator. That's right. Midtjylland cards not ready for launch, but they will be coming. So don't you worry, everyone. Carol says, Challenger seems to be more and more exclusive, maybe even less teams than Champion for in-season, which I haven't counted, but it does seem you might be right. We have 3 full leagues for Champions, some Serie A and some Ligue 1. I don't know. Shaforko, what's up? Sora Maxwell, so tempted with the contender in-season cards. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are. Germ, what's up? When MLS All-Star Special Weekly? Did they have one last year for that? I can't remember. Ricomon, not sure how I feel about sporting cards. On the one hand, I'm happy. On the other hand, I just lost loads of money on my sporting cards. Yeah, that is one of the funny things about when they remint teams that we had. All of a sudden, they don't look so scarce. There are a bunch of people in the Sorare Scandinavia Discord who are like hoping for more Danish Superliga cards. Like, we want Copenhagen, we want Brøndby. I'm like, no, we don't. We definitely do not. We want to be the holders of these cards, and we don't want more people to have them. So, yeah. Mike said, Midtjylland definitely not on OneFootball. Man, I guess I will be focused. So, Holland, what's up? Sam, Quinny, probably on his way home. What's up? JVic, medal special appears to be on game week 496, which is the following weekend, since weekends are now evens again, not the upcoming game week. So, all right, I haven't done any look. I don't want to say I haven't done any looking for the Olympics. I just know that my Mathis Cherky, isn't going to start for France. So. John Andrews, what's up? Alex Wilson, I blame CrowdStrike for the loss of some licenses. That seems to be fine. Toby says, I don't mind them cutting down a bit on licenses. They seem to do all the top teams in these miss leagues. No, stop it with your FCK Brøndby FCN. Toby says, I want them for in-season. Yeah. Keith, focus until a SOFA notification happens. I don't use SOFA for notifications. You should know that. I know you do. Philly Dilly, what's up? And Quinny, yeah, that's right. Like on arrival. Everybody should like on arrival. What are we up to right now? How many likes? Let me refresh and we can see. 17? Guys, Guys, come on. Come on. Anyway, so the topic that I wanted to discuss today came out of like a number of conversations that I've had with people over the past really few weeks, maybe even months. And it kind of gets accentuated when we have like new cards like this. Everybody's YOLOing into contender cards and challenger cards next week and then champion whenever they are. And the overarching similarity to all of these conversations that I have, and most of them are about changing your gallery and getting rid of certain cards to go after other cards, which is really the game that we're all playing. The most consistent one, based on the people I'm talking to, are like, I want to sell out of super rares in order to play rares. And excuse me. So I'm not going to talk about like super rare competitions. We've done that a bunch this week. Everybody knows how I feel. Everyone knows how everyone feels about them. But the interesting part is actually the next part of like, I'm going to get rid of this set of cards. Or maybe it's like getting rid of all of your contender cards and challenger cards and like going to play champion. And there's this push that people feel in a certain direction, which now is basically play Prem or champions, and to a slightly lesser extent, La Liga and Bundesliga. And there's this feeling of like, that's what we should do. And the reason why people feel this way is because like, that's where the best prizes are. They're like, I feel like I should go after the best prizes. And I think that everybody who's considering that needs to take a step back before they do anything. And they need to both remember why they like Sorare, if they still do, and whether they can continue liking it for the same reasons with this new gameplay. And so the big, I think I should do this feeling is a little odd. Not odd. It's unfortunate because even in another part of that conversation becomes, I want to, like, it goes from, I have these cards that I have accumulated over these years. I don't think that they are part of what I should be going after. And then it's, I should be going after this. And when I do that, will I still like the game? And that's sort of the unfortunate part of it, is we feel like, or not we, because I'm not doing this yet, but there is a feeling by a number of people in the community of, I should get rid of all of these other cards that I have used over the years that I have that I loved accumulating and loved playing, and I should get rid of those so that I can focus on champion or Premier League or whatever. And I'm not sure I'm going to like it as much. And so Keith Gator Guy 231 is here, and he was the latest example of it. And the kind of thought was, but he's like, I don't think I would enjoy just playing Premier League, rare, super rare, whatever it is. And the interesting thing about Sorare now is they are way beyond what they, I think, expected. They're way beyond where they expected to be, I think, after 5 years. But also, the focus of their game is probably what they would have done on day one if they could have done it. So the reason why Sorare launched with like the Jupiler League is because they could get the Jupiler League to agree to their license agreement. And so that's how they launched. But in a perfect world, when you start a fantasy football game, you want to have the best teams and leagues on your platform. But if you require, IP from these leagues, it's not that easy or cheap. And so I think Sorare launching today would go after the big 5 European leagues, and maybe not even all of them. Like, we know they'd go after the Prem, and then I think the Prem is kind of on its own level, but then let's just throw in the other 5. And then over time, they would consider adding ones like the Eredivisie, Jupiler, Major League Soccer. And so just on the way that business works, they had to start the opposite and get the smaller leagues and work their way up. And what happened when they got these other leagues is they had this goal of, we're going to have all the top leagues in the world. And then it became kind of like, what if we just had every league? And the idea behind having licenses and a fantasy game for every league in the world is, if you wanted to play fantasy football in your local league, wherever you live, Colombia, Peru, South Korea, Turkey, there was an opportunity to play that game. And that's kind of a really interesting idea. The problem is, because they never did like league specific competitions the whole time. And part of that, I think, is because they couldn't always get full league licenses. And they still can't. But the problem is that you then have to create a game that brings everyone in. And so All-Star became that. They were like, okay, you just use every card you want. And the problem with All-Star is it inevitably makes some cards of players in leagues that people don't know really powerful. It's the reason why people who have been on Sorare a long time know the names like Kikuchi and Morioka and Vanaken. And nobody outside of the world, outside of this like bubble, really knows who those players are. And we generally know, like, we know some of the teams in leagues because, they play in the Champions League, and Ajax always makes a run. Oh, they're in the Eredivisie. And then somebody here is like, wait a minute, didn't Josie Altidore used to play in the Eredivisie? And it was like, yes, he did. And sorry, Midtjylland just went down 1-0. So the way that we inevitably played was, let's find the best scorers in the game, and we play them in All-Star, and you can win the more famous players. Use Cicinha to win Mbappe, which is a really fun game for really diehard fantasy football people, which we all are, because we're playing this NFT fantasy football game. But you can't really build a huge platform with that. It does not work. There are just not enough people who want to scout the J League and the Croatian League and whoever. Who do we want to use Mbappe to win Cicinha? So the problem that we have is, in order to make the game more attractive to more people, you need to go after the best leagues. And when you have those best leagues, you can't have the best players in those leagues get overshadowed in the game by players nobody's ever heard of. And so, and Peter kind of puts it right here, it started feeling like I had to be an expert in all leagues. And the way that Sorare was set up with the old like All-Star and Champion Europe, which is the same still, but like Challenger Europe. What do they even call it now? I'm like embarrassed now that I've already like forgotten. Champion America. And the way that we were kind of like taught to play is, you play All-Star and then you kind of branch out. And that's how you get more comfortable with more leagues. But you still needed All-Star to be able to take players from all the leagues and put them together. And again, it doesn't translate to people who are in Germany and want to play the Bundesliga game. And like Bundesliga.com has a fantasy game, but it's not this. And we know that. But ultimately, the draw with Sorare was, you can take players from the league that you know best and compete against everybody else. And that's kind of gone now, which I don't think is really a bad thing. What's kind of negative about it right now is a lot of people learned about new leagues and new players and really like to scout those leagues and watch it. And now there's this feeling that they should stop doing that, even though they can still do it. If you're some guy in Scotland who has become enamored with the K League, you can keep playing those cards. But there is this significant push from Sorare to say, like, maybe you should not do that and instead spend all of your money on Premier League cards. And that happens because of the rewards, and they have to make the rewards that way because that's how they bring in new users. But if you want to keep playing K-League cards, do that. If that's what made you enjoy this game, compete for prizes with those cards. It's okay. You can keep playing Contender. And yeah, it feels a little wonky that like the K-League is up against the Croatian League and SPFL and Peru. But ultimately, you can still use the cards that you have learned to love and keep competing. And there doesn't necessarily mean, that's right, Liga MX, sorry, my apologies for forgetting Mexico. But while it feels like we're being told, and we're not actually being told, but it's like, hey, would you like to win $100 here or $5,000 here? You're like, 5,000 seems a lot cooler. But if you don't want to do that, it's okay. Like you can keep playing, and it's not exactly the same, of course, but like you can keep playing Sorare the way that you've been playing it, in terms of you focus on the leagues that you want to focus on and you just compete for the prizes that are available there. And it's not like the prizes are worthless somewhere else. They're obviously worth less than they have been. And so the feeling that I keep like getting from other people is this whole, like, I feel like I should be doing this. And my response is like, why do you feel that way? And they were like, well, look at the prizes. And it's like, do you want to do that? And the answer is like, I want to compete for those prizes, but like, I don't necessarily want to do everything I have to do to compete for those prizes, meaning like sell all my cards and buy new ones. And so it's okay. And so I think we need to stop feeling like we're being pushed in a certain direction. We need to look at our galleries and say, these are the cards I've built up over time. Do I want to keep playing with them? And if the answer is yes, then like ignore the other things of everybody's being like, oh, you got to play in season. You got to play Premier League. Go play La Liga because, buy La Liga cards because then you can play them in La Liga and Champ, and like play what you want to play. And if you think you're at a considerable disadvantage because you're doing that, then don't do it. Like if you don't think what you do can be competitive in the competitions that you can enter, then you need to adjust. But if you're somebody who's like, I have a lot of Contender cards and I like Contender and I like the competing every week for these, like, it's okay. You can keep doing that. And I think we need to stop letting the prizes in other competitions affect what we're doing in the competitions that we compete in, because if you don't want to compete in those other competitions, then you don't. It's the same exact thing of like, if you play rares and you're looking at the unique rewards, if you thought they were good, and you're like, man, I feel like I should go there, but you're like so far away from it, or you just don't want to buy uniques, like you don't have to. And so, yes, the prizes are better like over here with the Prem and Champion, but if you don't want to go down that route, which also includes like buying much more expensive cards if you're somebody from Contender and Challenger, like, as I like to say to my kids, just worry about yourself. Worry about what you have and what you want to compete, like what you're going to compete against for, and just do that. Don't feel like you have to do something else because like other people are saying like, no, this is where it's the easiest to win, or this is where the best prizes are. Like, you decide what you think are the best prizes. Yes, $5,000 is more than $4,000, but it's not that attractive if it costs $1,000 to build a lineup to compete there as opposed to $20. I'm being dramatic, of course. But I think that there's just a feeling that there are certain things that like we should be doing in this game, and nobody gets to decide what you should be doing except you. So just like, don't forget that. Don't forget that. Sorry, that was a really long rant. Soul says, I certainly do not love my K-League cards, but I will keep using them. So you're just like, you're joking though, but like you do love those cards. Sorare, I don't know where the Danish league is on one football. I'm going to be crushed if they're gone. Rikamon said, so where can we play our Leagues Cup teams? All-Star? Keith said, I think it really becomes what you want. Do you need higher stakes? Well, kind of need to go to champ stuff. Just want to enjoy OG players leagues than just play. So let me get back to that. ZM Star said, just jumping in, have we talked about the amount of clubs that have been cut, I assume, in the last two announcements? It's funny how everybody's like, there are too many clubs, and they're like, hey, we're not renewing these. And they're like, what the hell? Mike Basson, isn't that what Sorare's job is, though, to make us want to do these things and subsequently spend more money? Absolutely. They are absolutely in a position where they're like, we need to sell Premier League cards more than anything else. And so we're going to make those the most attractive from a reward standpoint. But if you don't want to follow the Prem, there are plenty of places to play this game and never have to worry about the Prem, ever. I'm not like dogging on the Prem here, but like obviously that's their premier competition now. Maybe it's Champion, I guess. But like, if you are not interested in those leagues, it's okay to not do that. Ricardo said, play what feels like fun for you. If it doesn't feel like fun, get out. It's not the end of the world. Perfect. Hoodwink said, I very much enjoyed the Asia region, but Contender has been fun. One Paulo Diaz, who I didn't know, and now he's my best L15 guy. Also bought Armani, Borja, and Nacho, new team and league to follow. Yeah, like that's what Sorare is all about. I don't think that's what Sorare would have been all about had they started like with the Prem and Bundesliga, but like it is. And so the peripheral benefits of playing Sorare is being exposed to more football leagues than you would have ever dreamed of. And you start buying players because you either have somebody from that team or that league, and like it vastly increases your football knowledge. And you just learn that guys named Ignacio go by Nacho. And can you put a price on that? Rigamon said, I just feel like there's no need to drop leagues now that there is a competition split. Like a La Liga 2 stack wouldn't be able to win you Mbappe. Let me get back to that. Peter said, it's an interesting situation now. Higher stakes doesn't necessarily mean higher scarcity. It can just mean a different competition. Lots of MLS rares are worth less than Prem Limited. And Keith said that's where he's landed on the exodus of super rares towards Prem and Champ rares. But like, Keith is a Liverpool collector, so he's like already there. Ben Johnson said, one football confirmed they don't have a license. Maybe Apple TV will take it. Malky said, it doesn't help when people like Sean come on the channel and say you are suboptimal and doing everything wrong. So please don't confuse me saying play what you want to play with playing poorly and suboptimally. Like, there are still plenty of ways to play this game incorrectly, but what you target in this game, like, there's nothing suboptimal about that. Like, you do what you want to do. And if what you want to do is try to win contender with cards from the J League and that's it, like I find it very difficult to tell somebody they're wrong. Do I think there are better ways? Maybe. Like I'm sure everybody would be like, it's suboptimal to buy a bunch of Champion Europe cards to play U23. Like that's all the talk is. Go buy Challenger and Contender so that you can win Champion cards. And then you look at who the best U23 players are, and they're in Champ. So, like, again, there are suboptimal ways to play this game. And this channel is kind of built around, and Sorare Data is kind of built around helping you not go down the suboptimal route. But in terms of like priorities, I don't think you can be wrong. Sorare Scout said, I think it's similar to the people who meet playing Football Manager. Some want to take to meet playing. Sorry. Some want to take Man United and dominate for 10 plus years. Others take a second tier Chinese Super League team to the Club World Cup. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's exactly what it is. Michael Broadbent, what's up? Just got married. Hey, congratulations. I would say that the first thing I would do after getting married is coming onto a Sorare Data stream and checking it. So thank you, Michael. Congratulations. Have a great time. Best wishes to you and your new spouse. Styler said, Sorare just makes watching football more fun. Never watched J League before Sorare. Now I'm a big Vissel Kobe fan and never miss a game. Yeah, simple as that. Vita, what's up? Goose, hi Laird. In my opinion, playing Champ isn't the ideal ROI option for most people. Just because the prizes are the best doesn't mean it's the best league to play. Better prizes also mean tougher competition. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if it's the ideal ROI option. And Philly Dilly, I said this to somebody earlier today. Sean is an example of one way to play the game. Sean is also an example of one way to play the game that is extremely difficult to mimic. Like not all of us have hundreds of thousands of dollars to throw into a game. Blue Tomato said, is a Midtjylland stack suboptimal? It is now at their goalie. Toby said, I really don't think the best U23 players are in Champ with the exception of forwards. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jude Bellingham would say something about that. Tuggy said, hey, mates, longtime listener, first-time caller, is it suboptimal to build a cheap Olympic stack? I already told Tuggy. So this is actually a really good example. Let me go back to this. So Tuggy sent me and Keith a message saying just that. We actually have well, whatever. I won't go more into it. But the Olympic thing, my response was no, don't do that. Like, don't buy cards for the Olympics. And it kind of totally fell upon the same thing of like, I didn't think anybody should buy cards for the Euros or Copa. And that's, of course, after I told Keith to do it 45 minutes before the deadline. But anyway, if like the response that I ended up having to Tuggy was, if you think that's fun, go for it. I'm not going to do it. And I think I think like Olympic news is not necessarily going to be like that super easy. And you're adding players to an already significantly large gallery in terms of number of cards that you have to keep track of. And now you're adding like more players that you have to check up on. We don't have the button yet. And so just time-wise. But if you think that'll make your experience more fun, then go for it. I didn't even look to see what the prizes were. Are the prize pools up for the Olympic one in 2 weeks? Or I'm sorry, 2 game weeks next weekend? July 30. Are they not even here? I don't even see them on Sorare, so sorry. Chani, what's up? We should sell all of our champion cards and buy contenders, is what the... Mark, what's up? Everyone should not play U23, so it'll be easier for me to win. There you go. There you go. Malky said, I have to agree to disagree. Someone like Sean only buys top performers, but I hate Mbappe, Bellingham, Celtic, etc. It's probably suboptimal not buying them, but I do not want to buy them. What did I say that you had to disagree with that? Like, I'm not saying you have to buy those cards. Goose said, for example, I've been successful in Challenger because the cards are cheaper. There's less competition, and I have the biggest knowledge advantage there. Right. And so, sorry. Oh, Genesis says cards, shirts, and merch for the International Athletic Games. Jeez Louise. International Athletic Games. And I agree with this, Chani. Like, yeah, obviously you want to win those cards. But, oh yeah, quick button update. It will not be for next weekend. Malky said, if I won them, I would immediately sell them. I don't like them. What is there not to like about them? Like, it's okay, totally okay if you like win them and immediately sell them. Part of the reason people like winning those cards is because they're expensive and you can get a lot for them. And so but it is kind of funny to be so passionately against those cards. But whatever. It's your passion. But so Chani, this whole like, what should we be doing? Is that what you said? Sorry, I'm scrolling back here. What should we do? We should do what makes us enjoy the game and then try to be as successful as possible in that endeavor. And the foundational point of all of this is that you have to start with what you like about this game. And that's kind of what I told Keith in his whole like thing, where he's like, I really should just sell all my super rares and get into Prem and Champion. And I said to him, I was like, you do whatever you want to do, but you have to remember that part of the reason you loved this game was finding guys like Teddy Tuma and kind of going all in on him, getting the super rare. And yes, he was playing it in All-Star to like win the champion. So maybe he was more drawn to the highest prize part of it. But you can still win fairly competitive prizes in Challenger. They're not as big as Champion, as we know. But that doesn't mean that you can't take the same techniques of finding guys or undervalued guys or overlooked teams and finding their players and getting them before everyone else realizes they're any good and winning competitions that way. And if you're somebody who's like, I would rather compete for $10,000 than $5,000, like I totally get it. But if you're also competing for $10,000 in a way that you don't enjoy, whereas you could be enjoying your way into competing for $5,000, like that's on you. Like, I'm not here to tell you like which one is more important. For me, I'd rather compete in a way that I enjoy competing. And so I don't want to let the potential prizes in comparison to what I'm looking at sway me one way or the other. Like, we should, if we only cared about prizes, like none of us would play Contender and none of us would play Challenger. We would all go to Champion and we would all go to the Prem. But it's not just about the prizes. Obviously, they're the most important part. Actually, I'll say they're the most important. But the second most important part, and I think it's not that far behind, is making sure that you enjoy competing for those prizes. And if you don't want to go one way or the other, that's okay. And so and I feel bad because I'm going to say something that Keith keeps apologizing for. But he said the fun is the scouting, but also the time invested you have to weigh. The time invested you have to weigh, do you need the return? Right now, I feel like for the time I want to have a yield, I think makes sense. So basically, like, he doesn't want to waste his time winning $30, which, like, I get totally. But that doesn't mean that where he was competing is wrong. Like, I think the top level prizes in the non-champion regions are competitive enough or attractive enough that we should keep playing. And that's me. Sorry, that I should keep playing. But I understand that stakes are more important for other people. And Keith has kind of said this on stream, and to me, not on stream, but like, because the stakes aren't as high, meaning you can't win a $25,000 Mbappe anymore. Maybe the time isn't worth it. And I think that's certainly possible. But also, I think we need to also remember just that we enjoy this, right? Like, ideally, we're having fun, or we're at least having a positive experience with all of this. And if there's a part where, like, you do all this work and you're like, I'm not enjoying this, that's where you go to a point where you're like, maybe I shouldn't play this game anymore. But if you're like not enjoying it and then like winning, and then you're just like, oh, great, I won. If you have that kind of reaction to winning whatever you're competing in, then maybe that's when you need to kind of step back. But until you win, I don't think you can just be like, I would not get excited about winning $1,000 from rare challenger. I don't even think you can win that much now that I've said that out loud. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I'm actually going to skip looking at it. Malky said, you should get Sean to check your gallery, like a gallery intervention Trip and B had. That would be great content. So I don't care what Sean thinks about my gallery. I don't care what anybody thinks about my gallery. Like the whole like gallery intervention, like, I know why Trip and B did it. But I'm comfortable I was gonna say I'm comfortable where my gallery is. There are plenty of cards I want to add to my gallery, but there is nobody on the platform that is going to like look at my gallery and either A, think it's a great idea, or B, convince me to like scrap it and do something else. Like, I am very happy with where I am Sorare wise. That I have cards from leagues that I really enjoy. They've put me into communities that I really enjoy. I can get enough information from about these teams and these leagues. Like, I have a very, very positive Sorare experience. And is it like optimal? I don't know. I don't think I've used this strategy enough yet to make sure to decide if it's optimal or not. But only looking at like, what are the best prizes? Let me go just chase that, I think misses a humongous part of playing Sorare. And I am very confident that my gallery is good for me. That doesn't mean it's good for anybody else. It could be good for nobody else, but it's not anybody else's gallery. It's mine. So like absolutely, Sean would look at my gallery and be like, just get out of contender, get out of challenger, and go to champion. Like that would be the response that anyone who focuses mostly on prizes would say. But I don't want to do that. So I don't. Mark said, my aim this year is to win a Yamal super rare. And Mark mostly plays U23. That would be awesome. Like, that's an awesome goal. Goose said something that Sean would call suboptimal. And I don't want to pile on Sean. Sean's not the only one who would like say this stuff, but like a lot of people here know how he plays and how he looks at other people. galleries at least. But anyway, Goose said something that Sean would call suboptimal is often optimal for enjoyment. As someone who successfully prioritized ROI over enjoyment, I can tell you that isn't for everyone. Exactly. And it goes back to the whole, like, there's no right or wrong way to, well, there's no single right way to play Sorare. Plenty of wrong ways to play. And so like, I'm more interested in trying to find a stream for Midtjylland today than I am. What do we have? So 1-0. Oh my gosh, Joel Anderson clearance off the line. I'm going to win cap 220. Anyway, so sorry, that totally threw me off. Anyway, Chani said, one issue I have is that when I felt like stakes weren't high enough, I just transitioned into super rare. Now that isn't there anymore as super rare has lost so much value. But the stakes are still higher, aren't they? Like, meaning higher than rare and limited. They might not be. Has Sean called you a moron? Then you know he loves you. Yeah. Like, do you guys actually think it would be great content to watch me and Sean sit down and have him shit all over my gallery and me just sitting there, like, having it just go fly right by me because I don't care? Philly Dilly said Laird and Sean have different goals, so a review of Sean's opinion wouldn't mean much for Laird. And not to say Sean's opinion doesn't matter, but it like, if I want Sean's advice on something, I ask for Sean's advice. And there are plenty of times where I do that. But I don't go to him and say, this is what I want to do with my gallery. Is that okay? Like, we're all here to make our own decisions. And you can get advice from people, and that's fine. And it's okay to, like, get advice and do the opposite. But remember, it's your gallery. It's your money. If somebody tells you that what they think is the optimal decision, you do it and it goes terribly wrong, they don't care. They're just like, oh yeah, sorry, my bad. You have to make the decisions, and you have to do what makes you enjoy this game. Like, if you focus only on stakes, you're going to actually end up hating this game because you put so much pressure on yourself. Like, I have to win this and I have to go get these cards. And you're doing things you don't necessarily want to do, all for a prize that you probably are not going to win in a competition you don't even want to compete in. Vita said having a gallery with full 100% efficiency focus is boring as fuck. Yeah, totally. Bob said, I'm having a blast with 99% K-League gallery and can have still, and wait, 99% K-League gallery and still have a chance on a good week based on my extensive knowledge. Yeah, perfect. SGT Stadenko said, having fun is my strategy and I'm having a blast. Now, I don't want to say that, like, Scosmo is going to be pissed at me now because this is where I'm like, we have to remember this is a game. And it's like, oh, there's so much money in this game, blah, blah, blah. This is not, like, if you want to, like, grind some sort of money-making venture, the stock market or trading meme coin, like, whatever you want to do. If you want to be miserable in order to make money, Sorare is not for you. Toby said, Simsier's points show for him being a mid and annoys the crap out of me. Is there no way for Sorare data to go against Opta here and just manually change it to default to his actual cards? Probably not. Any word on Finster? Is he coming on the show? I have a very weird feeling about Midtjylland right now because I need them to concede so badly that they make a goalkeeper change, and it's not going to happen. But apparently they're about to go down 2-0. Vita said he wouldn't shit all over your gallery though, but I'm not sure it's fun to review big galleries in the first place. And he probably wouldn't say anything you haven't heard 3 times already by now. It's not even 3 times because I really don't ask for advice that much in terms of, like, what I should do with my gallery. I don't like I ask lots of people questions about what they're doing or any advice on certain players or whatnot, but and it takes a while to get to this point. Like I've been on the platform a long time, and my gallery has been very different over time. But where I am now is a place where like I would appreciate a gallery review in a way that helps me get closer to achieving what I want to achieve in my gallery. It's not a get a new strategy like that. I'm not interested in. Rikamon said, a survey question: when will the MLS cards not show up in the Challenger Builder? Why would they not show up? Why would you want them to not show up? Sorry. Mark said, what's your aim for the 2024-25 season? Wanting to win a certain amount of money or hoping to finish a collection, hoping to get rid of someone from your gallery? I don't really make goals like that. Every game week, I just try to win as much as I can. And there are certain cards that sorry, I was totally thrown off by this comment from Germ that said, what Sean eats doesn't make Laird shit. And I don't even know what it means. But anyway, like I don't set like seasonal goals like that. What I want to do is eventually accumulate cards that I want to accumulate and play them in lineups and hope that they win. Like I don't like putting a dollar amount that I need to win because it provides like unnecessary pressure on something I have no control over. So it's like, oh yeah, I missed out like Jonas Lossel getting benched for Midtjylland a week before the season started. That's like that's a huge hit to my gallery. And so I need to figure out ways to kind of adjust from there. But the putting like specific goals, like I just want to win as much as possible. And what I do as part of my regular like Sorare routine, talking to you guys every day and talking to people in different Discords, that's part of what I get out of Sorare, and ideally helps me get better in the game. Malky said, I just mentioned Sean because he's someone who has been on the channel and basically said that if you don't buy the top players, you're doing it wrong. But some people only want to use the players they like. Yeah. So I think most of Sean's advice is catered to people who can do, like, he speaks in a way that implies that everybody's wants are able to be acquired. So he's like, if you want to play this game perfectly, these are the guys you should get. And obviously not everybody can do that. I can't do that. And so within those kind of suggestions are lessons of like, you should try to get as good players as possible. And playing certain cards together or targeting certain competitions with those cards. And I will say that I think that because Sean has this like gigantic gallery and can pretty much have any card he wants, sometimes like the lessons that come out get lost by certain people because they're just so focused on like the examples that he's using when he's like, yeah, everybody should buy 12 Rodris. And it's like, we can all admit whoever you think the best player is, like he happens to think it's Rodri, but like if you think Cecina is the best player, you probably should have 12 of them or whatever, 6, 8, whatever you can have for Cecina. And so like the point is like, you should try to get the best players. And even if it's like, if you have a group of players that you really like, meaning guys in the K-League, go after the best guys in the K-League. Oh no, Olafsson saved a pen. Oh, for fuck's sake. That is so painful. Welcome aboard, Scosmo. Goose said, maybe we should stop using the term suboptimal, as I don't think any strategy is 100% optimal. I don't think that the use of suboptimal means that there is a 100% optimal strategy, but there is a way to there is a way to play this game that kind of leads to not winning. Like people make certain decisions, whether it's in their gallery or in their lineups, that does kind of prohibit you or gives you extremely low chances to play. Like if you have an attacking stack against your goalkeeper in a single lineup, like that's suboptimal. Regardless if there's an optimal way to play, that is usually suboptimal. That doesn't say that it cannot work. Midtjylland could lose this game. Now, if you took the attacker from AGF, who is that? Becker doesn't even have a card. And now you have a penalty save. Like it can work. But if you're relying on like 2% outcomes, I would argue that's suboptimal. I'm sorry. Leagues Cup games. Yes, for MLS cards and not in Challenger. I think they will always show in Challenger, unfortunately. It's like when they showed double game weeks in Challenger during Copa and stuff. Scosmo said, I was today years old when I realized I owned the Midtjylland goalkeeper in limited. What's funny, Scosmo, is I have the complete collection from last season and I don't own one because he wasn't part of it. Malky said it was just funny because Tripp was asked awkward questions like, why do you own 7 Pablo Cisniegas? Yeah, no, I mean, and Tripp is able to like take that kind of stuff. But also, like, I'm the kind of person to be like, because I wanted 7 of them. Or like, because I don't have 10 yet. And so, I don't know. Ryan Dino enjoyed. Yeah, I was on Hunter's MLB show yesterday. That was fun. Blue Tomato said, have you now implemented your strategy of having several identical cards in a scarcity? Yes. Well, I guess you could say I've implemented it because I have a few, but I don't have all of the ones that I want, which is kind of part of it's a process, obviously. But I am getting closer. Like I have lineups this week that I almost ran the exact same lineup in Cap 240, super rare, and limited, except for the goalie. And I don't know, it was kind of fun to see. We'll see if it works out. Unfortunately, they had Midtjylland players. And so, man, I'm currently first. Look at this, guys. Let's just end the game week right now. This is what happens when you have Friday cards and nobody else is playing. Look at that. This would be like the best week ever. But yeah, I'm winning Cap 240 super rare. So yeah, so I had Mealing, Paulinho, and Matson, and Mealing, Evjen, and Matson. Excuse me. Mealing, Paulinho, Matson. Yeah, the goalies are different though. But anyway, but yeah, I think that's fun for me. Igor said, "Why does the value of cards decrease so rapidly?" Sometimes guys get hurt, they get benched. That's usually the fastest. They go to Saudi. Red Devil 91, I thought Sorare promised special weekly schedule for this week. They are bad at keeping their word sometimes. No, it's out. It's out. Oh, Rikamon said that. I thought they promised it for $4.95. I don't even know what we're on. Philly Dilly said, I think Sean is a good voice during the transition out of Cap 240 and into a world where you want the best players you can afford. Yeah, so actually that's a really good way to put it. You want the best players you can afford. So Sean makes that point, but because he can afford anybody, he uses the best players. Mike Basson, to be fair, I think even Lasso would have saved that pen. It was awful. All right, good. But he's not. He's not. Anyway. Mike said Sean no longer thinks Carlos Heel is the best player. He might. I almost sold my Carlos Heel because he's not. Carlos Heel isn't what's the word I am looking for? Like separator was like he's not as good as the separation between Carlos Heel and all the other MLS mids is smaller than it's ever been. Toby said the guy facing Rivals is using Joga Bonito, but doesn't have Simsier in his lineup. That's suboptimal for sure. Oh yeah, I forgot I had a Rivals lineup. Let's see who I'm playing in the arena. Ooh, look at this. This is a fancy one. Am I winning? Oh, I am. Yeah, I'm going to hit. Is it even halftime yet? Yeah, love tactics. Love Rivals. Always have. Anyway, Lucas, good evening. Do the preseason auctions reward the same tier card from the same team, or is it random at the 5% chance? I believe it's the same tier from the same team. Goose said, Laird, would you agree that the way you play is suboptimal for your financial gain, but optimal for your enjoyment? No, I would not agree with that. I think, well, I don't think it's suboptimal for my financial gain. There are probably more optimal ways for my financial gain that reduce my optimal enjoyment. And it's all about finding that balance. And so ideally, I'm like 50-50 financial gain and enjoyment. But if anything, I would prefer to increase the enjoyment for the financial gain until it becomes like a financial loss. But I think my strategy is positive from a financial perspective in terms of like what I think I can win in the future because of these cards. Like I don't think I'm making suboptimal decisions out of enjoyment. I'll put it that way. But again, if I was to play optimally, I think I should just sell everything and buy champion cards. Optimally in terms of financial gain. Hoodwink said I would be so defensive with a gallery review. Why do you have 79 Daegu jersey mints? I mean, why wouldn't I? I actually think jersey mints are the easiest to explain. Yeah. Trippenby hasn't left. He just sold his cards. GWOM said Sean told everyone to buy Doku and that he was the best player in the platform. Sean did not say that. See, that's one of those, that's one of those things that Sean said that people took way out of, not even out of context. They just misunderstood. Sean said that every big gallery should have a Doku. Like galleries that can afford to have cards that they don't play every week should have Doku. And that when Doku plays, he's one of the best players on the platform. And that it's easy, this I disagree with him, that it's easy, or maybe he thinks it's easy for him, to figure out when Doku plays. But Sean absolutely Sean never said everyone should own Doku. And Bob said, for your extra player, different team possible if there's no other player in the same tier. It could be, yeah. Sorry, Pinot Pond. Sean is PSU fans too. Germ said, do you think Ricky Puig surpassed Carlos Seal as the optimal MLS mid? Long-term contract, and LA are looking to add better DPs around him. Rumors of Royce coming. It's funny that you think Royce makes Ricky Puig better, but I think he's up there. But yeah, Lucho's there. Carlos Heel was like basically an outlier for a long time. Like he was by far the best MLS midfielder. And now, I mean, we've got Lucho, Ricky Puig, Evander is even like getting close. Who else we have? I would never put Mihalovic there. Gald. Like I think you can get scores from some of these guys, and they're just as good. I mean, literally, from an L40 perspective, like Lucho and Puig and Sean is like an L40 stand. They're ahead of Carlos Seal, and like Evander is right behind him. Yeah, Hector Herrera, Gald. I just don't think the separation is as great as it was. Like Lucho over the last 40 games, like his 40 before that were not remotely close to this. Same with Ricky Puig or Evander. Carlos Seals have been. His like L80 is probably the same as his L40. But because there's so many other options now, I don't think there's any difference. Rigamon, is there a way to see the players that get the most tackles and interceptions on Sorare data? You can do it by team for sure. Let me see if you can do it by league also. The way you would do it by team is if you just went to it, I mean, you just go to the team page. So I happen to be on Lucho. So if you go to Cincinnati and then stats, and we do this last 5, last 15, and last 40, and then here, 1 tackles. Here's your guy. Obina Wobodou. Wobodou? I don't know. That's how you do it. And then if you want all of Major League Soccer, you just click the Major League Soccer link, and there it is. James Sands, 29 tackles won in the last 15 games. Let's see who's missing out on assist. Lucho, 15 big chances created in 15 games. What a beast. Anyway, that's how you do it. That's right. MLB July chase starts today. Go set your lineups. You got an hour-ish, hour and 20 minutes, I think. So, yeah. Let's see. Blue Tomato said, I think not even Guardiola knows when Doku starts. Yeah, maybe. Graham said Evander is the new Elite 10. Maybe. Raul says it's called. Toby says it's Hector Herrera. Hartel's coming to the list soon. Yeah. Vita said, I would definitely buy 3 Carlos Heel rares before I buy a Veerman, given the current prices and in-season expected prices for Challenger. Is part of that Veerman that are you assuming Veerman stays? Raul said Carlos Hill also plays on a shit team compared with others, which his team is worse now than it's ever been. I mean, he's been hurt, so that doesn't help, but we'll see. Goose said, why is playing champion the best way to play for financial gain? Just because you can win the most there doesn't mean you will. No, you're absolutely right. I was looking at it more from a raw perspective, but you're right. It could be that most people can actually get a better ROI from contender, but that kind of goes back to something that I've said on stream before, and is just kind of how you want to look at it. That there are some people who consider turning $10 into $100 much better than somebody who can turn $1,000 into $2,000. And obviously, one is 10xing and one is 2xing, but the latter is making $1,000, which is so much more than the 90 you're making on the other example. And so it's all the matter of what you want to prioritize. ROI, an ROI percentage is going to be higher the less you start with. Meaning it'll be higher the more you start with. So there's some people who are like, yeah, I want to 10x my money, but I only have $10. And other people are like, I want to make $1,000. And if you can do that with $1,000 or $1,500, it's all a matter of how you want to look at it. Redevil said it would be nice to have a stat page like that for all of the players in our gallery. I agree with you. That would be really cool. If only we went to the My Gallery page and we looked at this stats button and we got all the stats right there. No, we don't have them all. You can have, do we even have set pieces? Oh my God, it is here. I take that back. There you go. So you have it for your gallery. Let's see who I hate the most. Muto's the only one who's been playing 7 in his last 15. Ay. Look at Midgeland. Oof. I didn't know Ascasabar was that bad. 5 big chances missed. Come on, Santi. Anyway. So yeah, it's there. Don't you worry. Add Royce to that list. Heavens no. No way. Vita said, I'm assuming Veerman has risk and will be overpriced regardless of the risk. That's possible. I feel like Veerman played himself out of the Premier League during the Euros. Just like this. KB said, whenever I've seen Veerman play outside that Farmers League, he stank it up. Vita said, pro tip, if making cash is your main goal on Sorare, don't play SO5 and start trading. I said that for a long time and actually changed my tune on that, But I think trading is back. Maybe I'll do a different show on that. Ben said, oh, wow, it just dawned on me that because we have so many fewer licensed teams, it may mean that the regions could be open less as we struggle to get 10 licensed teams playing some weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Like any week that the Turkish Super League was open, we knew Challenger would be open, but now. Vita said, I'm still scrapping this page, Andrew, no matter how many people in the chat you pay off. So yeah, Vita wants to get rid of the stats pages, and I want to redesign them and make them better. Admittedly, I don't use those stats pages nearly as much as like I make it sound, but I love being able to see it. KB said, Royce slander will not be tolerated here, and he's still levels above the Evanders, Carlos Hills, and Acostas. Yeah, he's the new Forsberg, except older. Forsberg is like the 15th best midfielder in Major League Soccer this year, and it's because he's hurt. And expecting Royce to be fit all the time while playing on artificial turf in the United States is good luck to you. Anyway, is it halftime yet for Midtjylland? Halftime might be over, actually. Halftime. All right. Vita said it'll still exist, surely, but not in the gallery. That's fair. I believe it. I believe it. So yeah, how should you play Sorare? However you want, however makes you happy. That's it. That's all I got. So thank you to everybody for coming. If you could please like the stream. Let's see how many likes we have. We're like over 100 people here watching. We have 41 likes. I thought the show was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. That's all. So yeah, please like the stream, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. Good luck to everybody this weekend. May all of your lineups hit their peak scores and we all win as much as we possibly can. And we just run it back next midweek. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. See you around.